Hello, my beautiful friends. It's Nina, and I am back. So this is a get ready with me. I moisturize my face like 3 times now just because I can't get my thoughts across. But a while ago on Instagram, I asked you guys 4 questions relating to advice that you wanted from me. That was a long time ago, but now I am here and I'm going to give you advice based off of your questions. So let's get into it. So I have the questions here on my lap, which is why I'm looking at my lap. I have my phone down here. But I'm also trying to beat the time. I'm filming at 3. Not a good time to film, but I don't have any other time. And I want this video up before 2019. So we're going to try to breeze through this, but you know what? I work well under pressure. I actually don't. This is kind of terrifying. We can do this. I'm going to give you that good advice. But now I'm going in with my BB cream cushion. It's the Klairs Mochi BB cream cushion. I was trying to remember the name of this cushion because I know it has quite the name. So the first question is college easier than high school or just not as stressful? Well, I don't think either is easier or more stressful. I think they both kind of suck. I just think that both are stressful in different ways. That's the way I want to put it. I don't want to say that college is less stressful or easier than high school, but I also don't want to say that high school is easier than college, blah, blah, blah. In high school, obviously, you're preparing to get into college, so there's a lot of pressure on students to do as many extracurriculars as possible, to get good grades because all your grades count towards your application for college. There's just definitely a lot more pressure and competition. But then when you're in college, that kind of stress goes away. You're not actually, no, that's not true. If you're going to grad school, that's different because then you have to actually care about your future again and you have to go through that whole applying process again. But even if you're not going to grad school, you have to apply for jobs or internships because now you're becoming an adult and eventually you're going to need a job and all that kind of stuff. In college, you just have more things that you need to do. So that's why I'm saying it's not less stressful, it's just different stuff that you need to do once you're in college. So honestly, they're both terrible. Kidding. Getting an education's great and I am thankful for my education, but also it can be hard. But in my opinion, college, I think if you manage your time well, it's not that stressful. Because like if you have a paper or an exam and you had like a month to study for it, but you only gave yourself 2 days to do the paper or to study for the exam, then those 2 days will be stressful. But if you give yourself a good amount of time, which I sometimes do, then it's not as stressful. So it really is about time management and how you carry yourself through either high school or college. Next question is, how do you balance YouTube and studies? So I get this question a lot. I also answered it in another video, but why not answer it again? By the way, I'm just going in with concealer. The brand's right here. Also, holy frick, I look pale. So as you know, I uploaded videos weekly during college, which was low-key kind of difficult to do, but I managed. At least for me, I was fortunate enough to have time to dedicate myself to YouTube. I had a 3-day weekend and luckily I didn't have much to do on those 3-day weekends except for YouTube and studying and doing homework. That would usually be on a Sunday. So it really just depends on how much dedication you have for YouTube. I've done YouTube for a pretty long time and so I'm kind of used to it and I know kind of how to balance it and I know how to kind of manage my time around YouTube because I know how long it can take. But that's just how I did it. I had 3 days to do YouTube. I'm kind of worried about the next semester because I don't have a 3-day weekend. I have 2 days, just a regular weekend. I have Saturday and Sunday. I have classes Monday through Friday. I don't know why my class decided to have Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and the classes are like an hour long each, but at my school it's 50 minutes each. So I don't know what the point of that was. We could have easily done an hour 30, an hour 30. But no, we're going 50-50-50. But that's fine. I am looking hecka pale. Next question is, how do you deal with criticism? In the beginning, I used to be kind of sensitive around criticism because I would take it personally, even though I know that most of it is constructive criticism to help me grow. But in the beginning, it was kind of challenging because I would think that any criticism was like an attack. I would think that, oh, I don't need to change anything. Why are they acting like this? Why are they saying this? Blah, blah, blah. But, you know, there's nothing wrong with growing and there's nothing wrong with checking yourself, making sure that, you know, know, if there's something that you can change, it's not a problem to change it or try to change, because no one's perfect. So it is about kind of having confidence in yourself, but also realizing that criticism's not always negative. It can sometimes help you. So the next question follows into this topic, which is how to be less hard on yourself. Now, it took me 21 years to get to where I am. We live in an age where we're constantly seeing other people's successes. We tend to want to show the good stuff about our lives. We want to show our accomplishments. You start to compare yourself to others and you're like, I have to succeed right now because all of my peers already succeeded or are getting there. Why am I still here? Social media and all that, we just kind of think that we have to do everything before we turn 30. But that's not true. A lot of people succeeded when they hit their 40s. A lot of people succeeded as adults. Obviously, there are a lot of people succeeding young these days, and there's nothing wrong with that either. It's just about remembering that everyone has their own pace. Everyone has a different path that they're going on. So just try to compare yourself less to other people, especially those who, you know, might be really successful because they had certain circumstances, experiences, opportunities that led them to where they are. You know, not everyone has that. Just be proud of the accomplishments and all the steps that you take to get to where you are today, because you've done something to get to where you are now. I feel like I've been doing the same step for like 2 hours. There's a lot of time in our lives to get to where we want to. So even if other people might be pressuring you to hurry up and get somewhere, just remember that it's your life. You came into the world. This is your life. Even if people might want stuff from you and want you to be somewhere, it's your life. Be patient with yourself, but remember that there's beauty in growth and there's beauty in accomplishing what you want to accomplish. And so just try to enjoy the journey. And anyone who's being toxic to you, anyone who's telling you to hurry up, don't take it to heart, but also just try to have a good pace. I don't even know if my eyebrows are even. My eyebrows are cousins. They are not sisters. The next question is, I struggle with being social. I'm always scared I'm going to disappoint someone. Help. I used to be afraid that I would bore someone or that, you know, I just wasn't interesting. So it really was a lot about me worrying about other people, worrying about how they viewed me, because I wasn't the best at socializing with people. You know, I was a very shy, insecure person. It's just remembering that people have different levels of energy. You know, some people like not talking a lot and some people like talking a lot, and I'm kind of like in the middle of all that. For some people I might be boring or I might talk slow, but to another person I might talk a whole lot and I might be annoying. And so it just doesn't matter what other people think at this point. It's what really matters is how you think about yourself, because people have different views of you and it really doesn't matter. Someone might think you're boring, someone might think you're annoying. It just be you. That's all that matters in the end. But just remember that being social is also another thing about experience and personal things about like your psychology and how you grew up and all that. Some people are just more comfortable being social and some people just have a harder time. Next question is how to be better at managing your time as a college student. I kept a bullet journal. Not everyone has to use a bullet journal. Just personally for me, I use a bullet journal. Some people use planners or agendas, that kind of stuff. So it really depends on you, but just have something that allows you to write down your tasks, manage your time. You know, you could use Google Calendar or whatever online calendar if you want, if you don't like actual physical notebooks or planners. Wow, I put on a lot of BB cream. I didn't notice that. Just try to keep a schedule for yourself, because in college you're going to have to do that. I literally would plan down to every single minute because it got to that point. Just don't overwhelm yourself with a bunch of clubs and all that. Remember your limits and try to remember that you can't do everything. The next question is, how do you learn to accept your failures in life but still learn and grow, school, job, etc.? So as I've mentioned before, life isn't perfect and it's not easy and you're not always going to get what you want, even if you work really hard for it. It really depends on circumstances and all that. So I just try to remember that the journey is also very important. The destination, once you get there, what's left, you know? Bumps in the road are not fun. They suck and you think that, you know, nothing good is gonna come out of this. But life honestly keeps going and naturally you're going to find a way out of it. In life, there's a plan B or C for everything. It's just those other plans might not be what you want. And that's an important thing to remember, is that these detours are not always good, but they're still there. Like for example, for me, when I didn't get into the colleges that I wanted senior year of high school, I thought that was the end. I thought I disappointed everyone. I thought, I'm not going to college. This is it. But I remember there's community college, and I'm not saying community college was this awful thing for me. It's just, it wasn't a path that I planned on, but eventually it became the only viable option for me, and so I had to take it to get somewhere else. But eventually I finished community college. I had a great time there. I learned a lot, and I transferred to a university that I actually wanted to go to when I was a senior in high school. I transferred to UC Berkeley, and now I'm going to go on a different path once I finish university. Just remember, the journey doesn't have to be awful. It doesn't have to be scary. These bumps in the road, these failures lead you to other options, and it makes your journey just a little bit more interesting. Next question is, do you love yourself? I don't know how. It sucks. I mean, personally for me, over the 21 years that I've existed on this planet, I've learned to appreciate my life. I like that I get to experience life and I get to live a life. It's really just crazy to think about, you know, in this universe you get to exist on this planet, you get to grow, you get to experience things, whether they are good or bad. I know that life's not perfect, but the fact that I get to experience it's pretty amazing. No matter how imperfect life is, I've learned to appreciate existing, especially since I was in a car crash recently. That kind of opened my eyes more and made me realize that it's great that I get to be alive. Personally, I am still learning to love myself, but I don't hate myself. I like who I am, and I like who I'm going to be. I don't know who I'm going to be, but I like that I get to live to experience who I'm going to be. My philosophy is just not having high expectations for yourself and just really enjoying the fact that I'm on this planet, because I think that's pretty cool that I get to be a part of this life and I get to experience being on Earth, that kind of stuff. Why am I getting emotional? Life is not easy and it's definitely not perfect. I am definitely not where I want to be, but that doesn't mean I don't like where I am. I'm not here to be someone. I'm not here to, you know, achieve a certain thing. I'm just here to try to live the best life that I could possibly live. You know, obviously I have goals for myself, but also I'm not trying to be the most whatever person. That's not what I aim to have in my life. I don't know how to explain it, but I just am trying to enjoy life as it is. Obviously in this economy and this society, it's nice to be financially stable, but I'm not out here with a certain mission or a certain goal that I want to achieve. I just want to be able to experience each day. That didn't really answer the question, but personally, I appreciate my life and I appreciate myself. Even through negativity and even through hard times, I remember that this is still my life and that a better day will come, because these negative experiences, I've gone through a lot of them and they all passed and life keeps going. The next question is, I'm 19 and I've never been in love or had a relationship and I feel a lot of pressure. I love you, Nina. Love you too. And reading this question, well, I'm 21. So come back to me when you're 21. Okay, well, also another thing about me is that I believe we're not here to find a person that we love. You know, I think that well, personally for my life, I mean, I'm 21 and I've never really experienced any of that either, but I've kind of learned over time just how hard having a relationship can be. You know, I've never been in one, but like I've definitely heard of a lot of relationships. They just seem like a lot of work to me. Obviously, there's value in, you know, having a relationship with someone you love, but in my life, having a relationship just seems like something extra to me. Like I really have to be in love with that person for me to be like dedicated to them, but otherwise it's just not something that I aspire to have, just because they are a lot of work, honestly. You know, you might see the positives about a relationship, but you don't really get to hear a lot about the negatives. I've seen the negatives, I've heard about them. For me, I like being single. I think it's a lot of freedom. I don't have to work my schedule around someone else's, and I don't have to deal with another person. The way that I put it, I'm not against the idea of having a relationship, but you know, it's just for me, it's not something that I really need. I have to take care of myself and I have to get through my life, you know? If you find someone you love, then it'll happen, but otherwise you don't have to push yourself to find something because that's not a lot of fun. Also, of course, my camera died, so here we are again. You shouldn't have to force yourself into a relationship because that can be mentally draining, especially if you don't have the same energy and love for that person. Just feels like a whole lot of work, and then you might as well just be single. Just know that it's more common than you think to be single because you might see couples everywhere, but honestly, I know a lot of people who are still single and you know, it seems normal to me. But I know a lot of people in love, and so it can be a great thing, but also it's also not a bad thing to be single. That's what I'm saying. Take it from a person who is single. And the final question, because the sun is going away, is I can't decide if I should go to a community college first or go straight to a 4-year university. So if you're asking this question in the first place, that means there's a little doubt, and that means you should probably consider community college. Now let me get into this. Going to a university, you're dedicating yourself to this institution for the next 4 years. You're surrounded by people constantly and you're literally stuck at this university for a very long time because you're most likely going to have to live on campus, especially if you're a freshman. At least when I was in community college, I was able to go home and I was able to be with myself, you know, away from other people, not compare myself, not think about what other people are doing. Things can change so much within a year or two. So there was just a lot of room for thinking about myself while also taking classes to finish my general education and eventually transfer. But it really depends on the person. I know that a lot of people went undeclared and they eventually found what they wanted to do in the university that they went straight into. But also, I have to mention that transferring is also not perfect. You're not guaranteed to go to the university that you want. I was lucky enough to transfer to the college of my choice within 2 years. It takes a lot of time for transferring, but I managed to transfer in 2 years. Some people take 3 to 4 years. So I'm not saying you should go into a community college if you don't know what you want to do. I'm just saying that in my experience, I was able to find myself. So if you're not happy with where you get accepted as a senior in high school, that probably means, why am I doing mascara with this hand? I could just do it with this hand. Don't dedicate yourself to those colleges. If you're not happy with them, you can try again. But also, transferring is not perfect. Results may vary, but at least from my experience, I'm happy that I went to a community college and then transferred because I really didn't know what I wanted to do, and if I dedicated myself to a university that I didn't really enjoy, I would have studied something else and my life would have been completely different. This is so strong. I need a tissue. Also, I do have a new lip product. I'm not using my lip tints currently, but I really like it, and it's from 3CE, and the color is Daffodil, and it's a velvet lip tint thing. Alright, so that is it for this video. That is it for this get ready with me, and that is it for the advice that I gave in this video. I don't really know what I talked about. Everything just kind of flew out of my brain. It's been a while since I've seen these questions, so I hope I gave some good advice. But that is it for this video, and that is my last video for this year, for 2018. 2018 has been probably the most hectic and life-changing year of my life, but it was such a good year because of you guys. You guys were honestly the best part of my year. I've been through a whole lot this year. I've been through a lot of moments of growth and change, and I've definitely experienced a lot, and through it all, you guys were there, and not gonna be emotional, but I'm very, very thankful for your existence and your love and for you being here. I've gotten to hear a lot of stories from you guys, and I've gotten to meet a lot of beautiful people, and so I'm very thankful for you guys. And yeah, if you guys didn't know, you do have a nickname. We came up with it on Twitter. A follower of mine actually tweeted this out to me about a name idea we discussed, and we decided to go with Ninyu, which I think is really cute. The meaning is so cute, and it's just, I explained it all on Twitter and all that, but Ninyu is what we came up with, and I don't know when I'll call you guys that. Mostly on social media, just because I got tired of saying followers. But yeah, that's all I wanted to say. Thank you guys for giving me an amazing 2018, and I'll see you next year. I will see your lovely face in a few days / 2019. Thank you for watching, and we will end it with our last hug of 2018. I love you guys so much, and this was an emotional video. Anyway, goodbye my friends. I love you.